Hello and welcome back to another final table commentary. If at any point in time you find yourself not caring for the commentary, there'll be a link in the description down below to the video on BCP Poker Replays YouTube account. So if you choose to do so, you can go check out the action in some peace and silence. With that being said, let's hop into the action. Got a 25k from WCOOP 2018. And look at this final table, super freaking stacked. We got Z Justin, Probris, David Peters, Z Zedric, Linus Love, Bit Too Easy, Bartek, McChang, and Limitless. And they got an ace and a queen of the same suit. They're going to flop a flush draw here. Couple overcards to the 3. Probris with that bottom pair. Doopity doo. Flop goes check, check. King of diamonds on the turn. Limitless makes his flush. And he puts in a little bit more than a half pot size bet. And the bet will get through. What do we got going on here? A couple threes for Bartek, hit the muck. Z Justin will just get a walk with the King 9 suited. King Queen offsuit for Bartek will open it on up. 8-9 for Limitless in the big blind. 10-6-4 flop goes check. Bet. Call. Raise? Maybe he sticks in the raise with the straight draw. Limitless will make their straight on the turn here. They smack the gutter to the 7. They lead out the turn super small. And Bartek folds the king high. Doopity doo doo doo. Everybody throws out the good lucks. Z Justin with a queen and a 10 on the button. We'll open it on up. King 10 in the big blind for McChang. They're going to call queen jack jack flop. Top pair for Z Justin. We'll bet. Ooh, bink. Another straight comes in on the turn here. This time it's for McChang. Z Justin with the straight blocker, top pair. This is a hard one to fold here. They're going to make the call and see the bad news. McChang up to 94 blinds now. Probris with ace 7 offsuit. They're going to raise it on up from what looks to be the hijack. Do 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 do, and the raise gets through. C Zedric with the 9 and a king of the same suit. They're going to let this go from early position. 3-3 for Z Justin will open it up. Couple of 7s for Bartek playing off 20 blinds. They're going to rip it all in. And Z Justin will fold the small pocket pair. Z Cedric with the ace and the 6 of the same suit. They're going to open it on up. Probris calls with a couple of 8s. Linus calls with the 10 jack of the same suit. King 6-3 flop. Goes check check. Bet. Linus folds. Cedric with the middle pair of 6s. Backdoor nut flush draw. And an overcard. They stick in the check raise here. Make it 490k to go. Probris did not want to see this. We might see 8s hit the muck here. Probris says, not today, bucko. They're coming along to the turn. 7 of hearts. It's no help for Cedric. They're going to slow right down. Probris checks once again. 3 on the river. Or sorry, checks this time. He did not check on the flop, he bet. River goes check, check, and Probris will scoop a little one. So 8s were put in a pickle, but Probris says, really, it wasn't too big of a deal for me. I'll just call that silly little check raise on the flop and go from there. 86 big blinds for him. Limp pot, 9-7 versus King 8, Ace, King 10 flop. Linus with the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw will lead on out. The backdoor straight draw does not exist, my bad. Wait, it does too. 8-6. In the end, we get a 10 on the turn. Goes check, jack, queen on the river. Linus with the flush blocker. No jack. Linus says, I'm going to give up the bluffski. And Cedric will take a small pot. Ace 9 suited for McChang. Will raise and take it down pre. Ace 4 suited for Bartek. We'll see if he goes for the open off 25 blinds. He does. Ace 5 suited for David Peters. Could stick in a 3-bet. Could call. They play call. 9s for Probris in the big. We could just... What do we do? Playing 40-some blinds deep. I was going to say we could just stick this in pre. But then I thought about it. 44 blinds? Are we really going to stick it in pre? I didn't think so. But Probris says, Brendan, you're just wrong. I'm going to stick it in pre-flop and get it through. Bartek with an ace and a jack. They'll raise it on up. Z Justin in the big blind with ace queen. Doopity doo. 23 blinds deep. See, Justin rips it all in and Bartek has to fold pre-flop once again. McChang with a suited ace under the gun. They're gonna let it go. Ace queen for Probris. We'll raise it on up. Limitless with 6-10 in the big blind. We'll call. King 9-5 flop. Goes check bet. Fold. And we're moving along. Bit too easy with King 10 from early position. They're gonna let that one go. Z Justin will raise up the ace 4 suited on the button. And this will get through pre-flop for him. Z Justin with a king and a 3. Gonna face a 3-bet from Limitless with the ace and the king. 525k to go, and Z Justin will fold the suited king. This would be disrespectful to raise the queen 6 offsuit. Z Justin does let it go. 10-2 suited for McChang. That big stack has a bit too many chips to throw around. Ace 10 calls the big blind. 10-9-5 flop. To be fair, I love to see this. We love to see a lot of pre-flop aggression. Let's see what the post-flop navigation is like. Check back on the flush completing turn. 4 on the river. And McChang will still pay off the bet here and see the bad news. Doopity-doo. Punished. 7-7 for a bit too easy. We'll rip it all in, and Linus has to fold queen 4. Couple of queens for Probris. They're going to raise it on up. Ace-king for Bartek. Looks like an all-in and a call. And a big flip. Ace on the flop, that will do. No queen for Probris. We won't lose Bartek. Not yet anyways. 35 blinds. 4-4 for Z Justin. We'll raise it up. David Peters in the big blind with 5-5. We'll call and flop a boat. That's a boat. Z Justin with a couple 4s. The under pair will bet real small. David Peters going nowhere. Unblocking the 7. You could stick in a check raise here, and David Peters does find it. Makes it super small. Right around 3x. David P. Oh no! Oh no! Z Justin calls. 4 on the turn. This is horrific. Oh no! David Peters is getting a full double up here. Z Justin is going nowhere now that he's made the boat. Flush completes on the river. 6-8 makes a straight. 6-3 makes a straight on the turn. Doopity-doo, David Peters is all in. See, Justin will snap call. And we're moving along. David Peters is going to have a big stack. Looks like 6 million chips. Can you imagine if he folds the boat here? No, he's going to stick it all in. Yeah, of course. He's got a freaking boat. That's 2 boats. One boat sucks. The other boat wins. Somebody's got a big boat. Somebody's got a small boat. Big boat always wins. Queen for Limitless. They'll raise under the gun. Doopity-doo. David Peters with 73 blinds. That's a big stack. Ace and a jack for a bit too easy. Gonna raise it on up and take it down pre-flop. Ace 9 for Cedric. We'll raise it up. King 10 in the big blind for McChang. We'll call 9-6-5 flop. Goes check bet. And then decision. What the hell do we do with King 10 of spades? Quickly fold. McChang just letting us know. No flush draw, backdoor straight draw, a couple overcards. We'll just find the fold on the flop. Jack 10 for Z Justin. We'll raise it on up. Bartek with Queen 9 in the big blind will call 9-7-3 flop. Super interesting board. Z Justin with a couple overcards in the straight draw to the 8. They're going to check it back. Queen on the turn. That's 2 pairs for Bartek. Says Captain Obvious. Z Justin is open-ended to the 8 or king, sorry. We get the 2 of spades on the river. Stack to pot ratio is 2-1. Doopity-doo. What do we bet? 720k, and Z Justin will fold their missed straight draw. Queen Jack for Probris. It is suited. They're going to raise it on up and take it down pre-flop. Jack 10 suited for Cedric. They're going to raise under the gun. And Linus with ace 3 in the big blind has a weird spot. It doesn't play super well. So Linus says, I'm going to just find the fold. 10-9 suited for Probris. We'll raise it on up. King and a queen for McChang. Thinking about a 3-bet here. And they are going to stick it in. 580k to go. Probris with a very playable 10-9 of spades. Let's 4-bet it or call. Do something, man. Jack 10-8 flop. This is super fun. Got open-ended straight draw for McChang. He's going to bet real small. Probus with middle pair and a straight draw to the 7. Backdoor flush draw to boot. They can't fold on the flop. We get a 2 of clubs on the turn. Goes check, check. 6 on the river. Probus' 10s hold up. And McChang looks to be giving up the bluff. Nice pot sliding Probus' way. They're up to 80 blinds now. King Jack suited for limitless. Bit too easy with an ace and a jack. Thinking about a 3-bet, and they just find the fold. Limitless will get this one through pre-flop. 9-9 for limitless. They'll raise it up. King 3 suited for David Peters in the small blind will fold. Nobody wants to play with limitless. I don't blame him. C Zedric with the aces. Z Justin with the ace jack. This is bad news for Justin. They're gonna rip it all in. C Cedric will go. Oh, king. Put a king. King. Oh, we're gonna lose Z Justin in 9th place. King did not come, by the way. Cedric pretty well gets a double up there, up to 56 blinds, 58 in total. Flop and top pair, good news for them. McChang with the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw is just going to check fold, and we're moving along. Doopity-doo, queen and a 10 for Probus, we'll raise it on up. 9-3 in the big blind for Bartek, we'll call king 8-7 flop. Probus takes a stab with the queen and the 10, and the stab will get through. Uh-oh, Linus is all in. 10's dead in the big blind. David Peters has a couple of kings. Linus jams. David Peters. Do we call? I don't think we jam. We are still playing 70 blinds deep here. So David Peters sticks in the call. We're going to need to see a 10 or Linus is gone. Linus is out of here in 8th. Just a cooler to get rid of one of the best players. I mean, look at the final table. How can you even determine who's the best player here? I've got no clue how to start guessing. You could start with, like, who's made the most money. Would that be David Peters? Might be David Peters. In the end, it doesn't matter. This is just a super stacked final table. A couple of queens for David Peters will scoop a small pot here, providing they don't find a way to fold. And they'll check. No value to be had. Ace and a 9 for a bit too easy. We'll raise it on up. Cedric with an ace and a queen. We'll stick in the 3-bet. Doopity-doo-doo. Bit too easy with the suited ace. We'll find the fold and we're moving along. Bunch of shit holdings here. David Peters with 4-6 in the small blind. We'll limp it on in. 10-6 for Probus. We'll check it back. Queen Jack 3 flop goes check check 2 on the turn. David Peters looking for a 2. Nope, that's not true. A 4 or a 5. Or the bet to get through, and the bet will get through. Stealing that little pot away. Couple of 3s for Cedric. We'll raise it on up. Ace 5 suited. Could go for a 3-bet. Could call. Probus goes for the 3-bet this time, and the 3-bet will get through. Queen Jack suited for Probus. David Peters with Queen 5 suited is thinking about a raise. We've got so many chips. Let's raise it on up. 2.5x. Probus will call. Ace King suited waiting in the big blind. Puts in a 3-bet to just under 1 million chips. David Peters will fold. Probus in position. I don't think we call here with Queen Jack. Very pretty hand, very playable, but we're just going to find the fold and move along. Queen, queen for David Peters. We'll raise it up and take it down free. Ace and a jack of the same suit. David Peters will raise it on up and likely take it down pre-flop. Dude. 9 jack suited for Probus is going to go for the open. Cedric with a king in the big blind just going to find the fold and we're moving along. King queen for limitless. We'll raise it on up. David Peters with a very playable 9-7 suited in the big blind. King jack for Cedric hits the muck. Ace 10-5 flop goes check, bet, fold. Do 4-4 for Cedric. We'll raise it on up. Ace jack for David Peters in the small blind. Could 3-bet, could call. 3-bet comes in, pricing Probus out of the pot, and Cedric will have to fold another small pocket pair. Deuces for a bit too easy, just hit the muck. Queen 4 will limp it on in. Limitless says, okay, let's go to the flop with the Jack 5 of the same suit. King 8, 7, nope. King, Queen, 7 flop goes check, check, 8 on the turn. Goes check, check, 8 on the river. The pair of queens hold on up for Probus. He goes for some value, but there's none to be had. Ace and a queen for Cedric will raise it on up. And looks like, oh, I thought he was getting it through pre-flop. 9-6 will defend the big blind. King, Queen, 5 flop goes check, check, 3 on the turn. Goes check, check, 7 on the river. McChang does block 6-4. Could go for a little bluffski here. Try to buy the pot. He's going to go for a big bluffski. 2x overbet. And Cedric slow played the ace queen. He's going to find the fold. Nicely done by McChang. What a bluff. Holy shit. Ace and a 5 for Probus. Ace king for Limitless. They'll go for the 3-bet, and the 3-bet will get through. Uh-oh, ace and a king for Probus, ace and a queen for Limitless. Hopefully they just call this time. Nope, another 3-bet comes on in. Probus going nowhere this time, could stick in a 4-bet even. They do play call, queen 10-2 flop. Good news for Limitless, he makes top pair. He will check, Probus with a straight draw to the jack. And an overcard to the queen. Doopity doo doo. 1.3 million chips in the middle. Limitless bets about half pot. Hard to fold the ace king on the turn here. Still ahead of king jack hearts. We do lose the jack 9 somehow. There's 4 combos of jack 9 suited that could potentially turn themselves into a 3-bet pre-flop. Although they might prefer to call. Get the 5 of hearts on the river. Limitless thinking about another value bet here. He's going to go 3.5 million chips. The bet's going to get through, but what an interesting bet. Doopity doo. King queen call? Maybe? Very interesting bet on the river there by Limitless. Surely they know what they're doing. Queen 8, 2 flop goes check, bet, call. 6 on the turn. 3 is no longer good for Cedric. 4 on the river. This will go check, check, and David Peters will scoop a small pot. Ace 10 for McChang will raise it on up. 8-9 will defend the big blind. 7-7-6 flop goes check, check, 8 on the turn. David Peters with a pair and an open-ended straight draw will check it on over. McChang looking for a 9 or an ace. We'll check it back. 7 on the river. David Peters overbets here with the boat. Doopity doo 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 doo. And McChang folds the ace high. Couple of 8s for McChang. They're gonna get right back in there. And no action for him this time. King jack for Bartek will raise it on up. 8-8 for limit, or no, that's not Limitless. That's a bit too easy. They're gonna go for the 3-bet. They've been rather quiet, so the raise gets plenty of respect. Doopity doo. 9-6 suited for Probus. Just gonna hit the muck from the button. Queen 4 will limp it on in. Queen 5 for McChang, and the big blind checks it on back. King 10-2 flop goes check. Check 4 on the turn. Pretty well locking up the board for Limitless. King on the river. Goes check, check, and Limitless scoops a small one. Ace jack for a bit too easy, raising under the gun. Cedric calls with the jacks. David Peters with king queen is going to let it hit the muck. Limitless with king 10 is going to let it hit the muck. Doopity doo. 10-8-2 flop goes check. Bet? What do we bet? I was going to say 250. Cedric says we're going to go half pot here. And the bet's going to get through. A couple of 6s. Cedric will raise it on up from under the gun. Bit too easy. Thinks about it with jack and a 3, but they're going to let this one go. 7-7 for Progress, raising it up and getting it through. Queen jack suited for McChang. We'll raise it on up. David Peters with the queen and a 2 of the same suit is going to flop top pair. Bad timing. Does have the backdoor flush draw. Other than that, he's looking for a 2. Jack on the turn will lock up the board for McChang. 1 million chips in the middle going to be sliding their way, and they're going for 700k of value. It's going to be hard to fold top pair on the turn here. 10-9 is open-ended. King 10 is open-ended. Oh, and David Peters finds a fold with top pair on the freaking turn there. Holy shit. I don't know what to say about the fold. I wouldn't have found it. I'm paying off at least one more bet. David Peters says, Brendan, you're just a fish. Ace 10 holding up here. Cedric in position will get the chance to bluff on the river. There's about 600k in the middle. Cedric bets 400k. Oh, can you imagine if he finds the call here? Folding top pair, just the previous hand, and then we're going to call down with ace high. Oh, he was thinking about it. You could tell he was thinking about it. Obviously, he uses some time bank. Doobity-doo. Ace and a 10 for Bartek. We'll raise it on up. David Peters with 6s. We'll play call. 9-3, 3 flop. Goes check. Small bet? Nope. Goes check, check. 10 on the turn. Good news for Bartek. Doopity-doo, doopity-doo. There's plenty of draws out there. There's hearts. Queen, jack, diamonds. 8-7. Does Bartek have 8-7? Not likely. David Peters still will find the call. Top 2 for Bartek. Queen, jack does miss. Hearts miss. Bartek goes for 700k of value. And David Peters finds a nice fold. Ace 8 for Probris. We'll raise it on up. McChang in the big blind with ace and a jack is going to flop a straight draw here. Bottom pair for Probris. In position, they'll go for a small bet. McChang calls and makes a pair of jacks on the turn. Doopity-doo, doo, doopity-doo. Probris blocks 2 parries. Could turns his hand into a bluff here. Oh, when he frickin' does. It's so beautiful. Just under 700k, and McChang finds the call with the pair of jacks and the straight draw to the 10. Jack on the river. Oh no, Probris is in a pickle. He is going to check back the river and see the bad news. We love to see the turn barrel though. Beautiful. Ace 9 going to get through pre-flop for Probris. Ace and a jack for David Peters. We'll raise it on up. King 7 for McChang, going to hit the muck. Bit too easy with jack 8. We'll call the big blind. Both players flop top pair. Jack 4-2. No flush draw. Doopity-doo. 6 of diamonds on the turn, so 3-5 makes a straight. Diamonds are out there. Doopity-doo. 620k to go. Dum da dum dum. Bit too easy finds the call once again. Ace on the river. Bad news for your jack. If it wasn't a diamond, you didn't want to see an ace. You didn't want to see a king or queen either. To be fair, it's a great card for David Peters to bluff, but what are we bluffing with here other than like king, queen of diamonds? Are we really going to put in a triple barrel? All in from David Peters. And the top 2 will get it on through. Probris with an ace and a king. Limitless with king, queen suited. Cedric in the big blind with 4-5. We're going 3 ways to the king 6-2 flop. Super interesting. Probris and Limitless with top pair. We're gonna see how many chips Limitless is gonna lose here. It's gonna be 270k on the flop. Cedric calls with their straight draw to the 3, and they bink it on the turn here. Flush also completes. So I think Limitless isn't gonna lose too many chips here. He's gonna stick in a 500k bet. Uh-oh. Cedric calls. Probus might fold the ace king. Queen on the river. Bad news for Limitless. He might be all in here. Oh no, we're gonna try to get called by like 6. Oh, Limitless checks back 2 pair. Oh, my guesses have just been horrific, but nice play by Limitless. Cedric will scoop a little pot there. 2.6 mil. That's not too little. Ace and a 2 will go for a 3-bet for Cedric, and that gets through pre-flop. Ace and an 8 for Cedric. Gonna raise it on up, and David Peters has a king and a 7 of the same suit in the small blind. They're gonna call king, jack, 6 flop. Cedric with the backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. David Peters with top pair in the backdoor flush draw. Doobity doo. 200k bet on the flop, 6 of hearts on the turn. That's no help for Cedric. He's gonna slow right down, jack of diamonds on the river. Pretty bad run out for the king 7. Diamonds get there, 6s make a boat, jacks make a boat. Cedric says you're still probably going to pay off a bet. Doobity doo, so he just checks down the ace high and sees the bad news. King queen suited for Bartek, going to face another 3-bet. He's been 3-bet relentlessly. He's going to flop top pair, and that's bad timing. Cedric with ace king suited. Bartek solely looking for a queen. There is some chop outs. Queen on the turn, that will do. It is a spade. Cedric with the nut flush draw. We're still all in. We could have been all in on the turn. 5 of clubs on the river. Bartek will do the betting. Cedric will still call and see the bad news. McChang will get a walk, and we're moving along. 6s for Cedric. We'll raise it on up. David Peters with ace 10 offsuit. We'll just find the fold. Bartek with a couple of 7s in the big blind will call 5-5-4 flop. Are you serious, Poker Stars? Just a safe flop for the 6s. Gonna go for a little bet ski here. If we get checked raise, we're calling. Right? We obviously lose to a 5. We're ahead of 4s. We block 6-7, which is really bad. Cedric's still gonna call 4 on the turn. 2 flush draws out there. Spades and clubs. 6-7 is still a straight draw. 3-2 is still open-ended. A 6 on the river. Cedric getting quite lucky here. Bartek will check it on over. I don't know if Cedric gets paid though. He's all in. Both flush draws miss, but are we going to turn those into a bluff on the river? I don't think so. Bartek is going to is going to find the nice fold on the river. Doobity doo 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 doo. 4-4 for a bit too easy. Going to rip it all in over Probus' open. And the ace 9 hits the mug. 3-4 suited for McChang. Going to go for the open. Ace 9 will defend the big blind and flop the flush draw. Bottom pair for McChang goes for a small bet. Ace of clubs on the turn. Good card for McChang to fire away. They do fire away. Cedric is going nowhere here. Top pair with the nut flush draw. Queen on the river puts a 1-liner to a 10 out there. The flush draws miss. Oh no, do we go for a bluff ski? And McChang puts in the little bluff ski for half pot, and Cedric folds top pair. What a horrific river card for Cedric. Beautiful play from the 3-4. Queen 10 suited for McChang. King 7-4 flop. McChang will c-bet. Oh, when they're being a bully, David Peters has to fold the ace high. Doobity doo. David Peters with the 5 and a 6 is gonna limp it on in. Probus with the king 5 will check it back. 10-4-3 flop. Poker Stars would do that to a man. Probus with the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw has to call for 1. David Peters is open-ended though. 10 on the turn. David Peters says, let's go bombs away. 330k to go. And Probus is going to have to let go of the dominating hand. 4-4 for Bartek is just going to find the fold, and that's good timing. Cedric with a couple of queens will raise it on up. David Peters with jack 10 going to let it on go. Limitless with ace 3 in the big blind. If it was suited, we could 3-bet. Offsuit variety, I don't think 3-bets, but Limitless is thinking about it and he frickin' 3-bets anyways. All in from the queen. And Limitless will have to find the fold. Ace-10 suited for Cedric. We'll raise it on up, and McChang with a very playable 6-7 of clubs in the big blind. Ooh, would you look at that flop. King, queen, 3, all clubs. Cedric with a straight draw to the jack, sees a fair board, will go for a c-bet. Bet will get called, 8 on the turn. Cedric picks up some showdown value with the ace on the river. I don't think we need to bluff. I don't know if we can get value. Cedric will teach us right here. 800k in the middle. Cedric says about half pot. Let's try to get called by a single pair. A king jack, a king 10, queen jack, queen 10. All but if queen jack, queen 10 with a club. What if they stick themselves into a bluff? Uh-oh. You see? I could find a call here with the ace 10. We block jack 10. We don't have a club, so again, like, I think we want our opponent to have a club. Like the jack of clubs or the 10 of clubs, I think would be a bad card to have here, even though they obviously block value. But it's just like, what is your opponent going to bluff with here? Maybe it's just a super under bluff spot. Cedric says I'm going to lay down the ace, the pair of aces. Doopity doo 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 doo. Jack and a 9 for David Peters is gonna raise it on up. Bartek with a couple of 6s. He's gonna flop his set. David Peters with middle pair, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Ah, making 2 pairs on the turn. Does have the boat out. Queen 10 makes a straight on the turn. Hopefully we see some sort of spade. Ace of clubs on the river. Man, not a good card for Bartek to bluff. He's going to go for 1.3 of value. So what the hell do we do here with the jack and the 9? David Peters has shown the willingness to fold, but like this hand might be too strong. David Peters does find the call and sees the bad news. Bartek up to 56 blinds now. Doopity-doo has a couple of 8s. He's going to rip it all in over Probrus's open with the queen and the 10, and the queen and the 10 will hit the muck. 10-10 for Limitless. Doopity-doo. Ace and a 2 for Bartek. With the big stack, could 3-bet. Hee, they do find it. Limitless playing off 40 blinds with a strong pocket pair. I think we're all in. Limitless says, no, I'm going to call. Keep that wide range open. Queen 9 3 flop. Bartek looking for their backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, or one of these bets to get through. They start off with a 500k bet into a 1.8 million chip pot. Limitless can't fold yet. He does block jack 10, which really sucks. 5 of diamonds on the turn. Yeah, if your opponent bets, you hate to have the 10 of diamonds. You'll love to see a check. 3 on the river. So Limitless loses the ace 3, obviously, but that's the one combo that might check back the turn that you're losing to here. Limitless even goes for some value with a 10s, tries to get called by a 9. Maybe a smaller pocket pair. Bartek says, no, I've just got a suited ace that missed. Doopity-doo-doo-doo. 3 ways to the 10-4 2 flop. Top pair for McChang. Cedric with a couple of overcards to the backdoor flush draw. We see the 9 diamonds on the turn. Probrus picks up a straight draw to the 7. That 8 of diamonds is a super strong card. Probrus says, yes it is. Yes it is super strong. Doopity-doo, they're going to bet 2/3. McChang will call ace on the river. River goes check, check, and Probrus loses a big one. It's down to 14 blinds now. A bit too easy with an ace and a queen. Gonna open it on up. 10-6 in the big blind for Limitless will call. 9-3 2 flop goes check. Bet. Doopity-doo. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw for Limitless. We could check raise. Uh-oh. We're gonna check raise. He's thinking about it. Stick it in, stick it in, stick it in, stick it in. He finds the fold. King Jack for David Peters. Raising it up, getting it through. A7 for Probus. 14 blinds. We'll rip it all in and get it on through. 5-5 for Limitless. Playing about 50 blinds deep. We'll raise it on up from the cutoff and get it on through. I see a king and a queen of the same suit for Cedric in the big blind. A bit too easy with the ace queen. Is going to go for the limp. Cedric is going to raise for some value. What size do we go? Don't jam. 432k to go. Bit too easy. Rips it in. King on the flop though. No problem. Ace on the river. No problem at all for bit too easy actually. Cedric is pretty well dead now. Has a 10 and a 4. Queen Jack for Limitless. We're going to need to see some 10s or 4s. Ace 7 6 flop goes. Check check probably. Does Limitless try to buy the side pot? And he does. David Peters has the flush draw on the backdoor straight draw. He's going nowhere. 8 of hearts on the turn. 811k in the side pot. David Peters will lead on out. And the jack high is good for the pot. Oh no, that's hilarious. Straight draw blocker. Or the straight blocker. Flush draw. David Peters will take it on down. Ace Queen will rip it on in for Probus and get it on through. Ace and a 7 for a bit too easy. Gonna lay it on down. Probus with Ace 7 or Ace 8 suited. 20 blinds. Gonna rip it on in and get it on through. 9-10 for Limitless on the button. We'll raise it on up. King Queen for McChang in the small blind has options. They do go for the 3-bet here. The 3-bet will get through. King 2 gotta limp it on in. Bit too easy, checks back 5-3. King 10-8 flop. Bit too easy, could try to buy the pot at some point. He says not on the flop anyhow. 5-3 has no showdown value, no draw, facing an overbet on the turn. Quite happily just gonna fold. Ace 8 for Probus, raising it on up. McChang with a couple of 9s. Could call, could 3-bet. We got options. 700k to go. Suited ace for a bit too easy, hits the muck, and Probus will fold the Ace 8. Bit too easy with Ace 3, we'll raise the button. David Peters with an ace in the small blind, could call, could 3-bet, could fold, and they fold. King Queen will rip it all in, and bit too easy folds the Ace 3. McChang with a king and a queen. Nope, that's a king and a jack, sorry. Raising under the gun. Limitless flopping the nut flush draw. Jack 9-3, 2 diamonds. If we wanted an action flop, we got it. 10 on the turn here. Another flush draw comes on in. King Queen makes a straight. Limitless sees a huge bet. Do we ever turn our hand into a bluff here with A7? We call, we make a straight on the river. One liner to a 7 or queen. River could go check check, so Limitless is thinking about a lead here. 2.8 million chips in the middle. What size do we go? We'd have to bet like small. 960k. Doobity doo doo doo. Old McChang could turn his pair of jacks into a bluff here, blocking King Queen. He says, no, I'm actually just gonna fold. Oh, how beautiful it would have been to see a river jam. Not gonna happen this time. 10-10, 8 flop goes check check for 10 on the turn. McChang looking for a 6. An 8 is a chop pot. A bet from Probus will get through. Doopity doo. 9-2 for McChang. In the small blind. Raising it up. Bartek with 7-4 suited will call. Queen 7-6 flop goes. Bet. Call. King on the turn. McChang will slow right down. Bartek says, okay, let's go to the river. Jack of clubs. McChang goes for a little bet ski. putting a little bit of pressure on the pair of sevens, and the sevens hit the muck. Nice play from McChang. There's been a few of those. They kind of deserve the W here. Going for a 3-bet with the ace-10 suited. Bad timing. Couple of jacks for David Peters is going nowhere. 10 high board. Just all bad news for McChang. Goes for a small bet ski on the flop. David Peters goes for a small check raise. Making it $1 million more to go. McChang is all in. He needs an ace or a 10. He does not hit it. So just as I was saying, he kind of deserved the W. We blast off with top pair, top kicker. David Peters with the overpair gets it in great. And holds up to 100 blinds now. Doopity doo 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 ba boo. Ace and a 4 for a bit too easy. David Peters with ace and a queen. 3-bet comes on in. And a bit too easy lays down the ace 4. King queen for a bit too easy. They'll raise it on up again. 4-4 for Probris in the small blind. Could rip. They do. And the jam gets through. King 10 for Bartek. We'll let it go under the gun. David Peters with an ace and a 6 will raise it on up. And Limitless with the queen and a 9 will fold the small blind. Ace 6 will call the big for McChang. 10-3-2 flop goes check. David Peters tank. About a half pot size bet. McChang with the backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. I don't think we can fold. We're in a big fan to see the big bet. 9 of hearts on the turn. 1.2 million chips in the middle. David Peters slows down. 7 on the river. This goes check check, and we drop that on up. Queen 4 suited for David Peters. They're gonna raise it on up. Jack 5 suited for Probris is thinking about a 3-bet. Oh my lord, are you serious? Probris finds the 3-bet with Jack 5 suited and it gets through, and then he gets an ace and a jack. Doopity doo. Bartek calls with the ducks. 9-5-4 flop goes check check. Queen on the turn. Goes check check. 9 on the river. This pot will go Bartek's way with the ducks. King Jack for Probris, raising it on up. David Peters with a 10-6 will fold the big blind. Ace Jack for McChang, he's in trouble. David Peters with an ace and a queen of the same suit. Gonna go for a 3-bet with the big stack. He jams it all in and McChang finds the fold. Nicely done. Ace 5 for Probris, we'll limp it on in. Ace 3 for Limitless, we'll check it on back. Jack 6-5 flop goes check. Jack 6 on the turn. Limitless looking for an ace or a jack. We see a 7 on the river. Pair of 5s hold up. Limitless doesn't have a reason to bluff. Has showdown value with the ace high. Or does he? Oh my lord. He says, no I don't, Brendan. I've got no showdown value with my ace high. We gotta put in the big bluff ski here. 570k in the middle, and the bet is like 460 and the bet gets through. Nicely done by Limitless. Queen 8. What a show by Limitless. Holy shit. Bullying Probris, that's not easy to do. Queen 8 for McChang as well. King 10 5 flop goes check check. Jack on the turn. Both players are open-ended to the ace or 9. Limitless out of position is gonna lead. Queen of spades on the river. This bad boy should go check check. We both got a little bit of showdown value. And we're gonna chop it up. King 9 for David Peters. Looks like it's too strong of a holding to let go. Probris with ace 4 is thinking about another 3-bet. And he's gonna stick it in. This is getting silly. David Peters jam. And he's gonna find the fold. Nice play by Probris once again. Blinds go up. Queen 9 suited for David Peters. Doop-a-doo-doo. What an interesting dynamic brewing between Probus and David Peters right now. Just the widest 3-bets. Jack 5 suited. Ace 4 offsuit. We love to see it because David Peters is opening quite wide as he flops a frickin' flush here. Limitless with top pair, checking it back. That's good news. David Peters is going to go for a healthy value bet here. Jack 10 makes a straight on the turn. Limitless just going to fold the top pair. Nicely done. Avoiding danger. Queen Jack for a bit too easy. 8-9 for Probus. King 6-5 flop goes check. Bet. What do we do with the straight draw and the backdoor flush draw? We have to call for 1 at least. 8 on the turn. Goes check, check, 9 on the river. The flush completes as a 1-liner to a 7. Probus with 2 pairs. Going for a half pot size of value. But there's none to be had. Ace Jack versus a couple of 10s. The 10s are going to rip it all in. And the Ace Jack probably going to hit the muck. Doobity-doo. King Queen suited for Bartek. They'll raise it on up. David Peters with Ace Queen could go for a 3-bet, could call. They play call this time. King 9 also completes the big blind. Jack 9-4 flop goes check, check. What do we do with Ace Queen? Could get called by worse. Could put that pair of 9s in a very weird spot. McChang says, not too weird for me. I'm going to call for 1. Bartek has a straight draw to the 10 and the backdoor flush draw. A couple overcards. Hard to fold this on the flop here. Yes. We see the check raise from Bartek. Ace Queen's going to hit the muck. And again, the King 9 is in such a pickle. Probably going to hit the muck. We're going to see a bunch of over pairs. Strong Jack X. A few sets in there. And we got a couple of 9s going all in versus a couple of 9s. Hopefully nobody makes a flush here. Let's just keep the game going. Uh-oh. McChang throws in the nice hand. 9s versus 9s. Super simple shit. Ace and a 5. McChang is going to rip it all in. A couple of 10-8s hit the muck from the blinds. And we're moving along. Ace Queen for Bartek. We'll limp it on in. But oh, David Peters with the Ace 5. I think we're going to go for the raise. But David Peters says we're going to go for the check actually. 9-8 3 flop goes check. Check. Queen of diamonds on the turn. That's top pair for a bit too easy. And the nut flush draw for David Peters. Bit too easy. Bets large. Can't fold here on the turn. 8 of hearts on the river. That's a clean river. Jack 10 makes a straight on the turn. But I suppose we would have seen a bet on the flop. Bit too easy says. I think you're going to have too many diamond draws. Some sort of 10-7. Potentially. That might also bet on the flop. So what is he going to have? Just a bunch of bullshit? Maybe some weak pairs? Bit too easy. Goes for the check. Try to get a bluff out of him. Oh no, Probus makes a flush here. Bartek with a couple of aces. Does not improve to the better flush on the river. Probus playing this bad boy sneakily. Bartek with the nut flush blocker is going to go for a healthy value bet here. And the question is, does Probus jam when the board pairs on the river? I like to see it. Doesn't jam. 2.4 mil to go. Leaving himself with 10 blinds. And Bartek with a couple of aces and the ace of hearts is going to have a hard time folding. Not going to be an easy call as we see them go deep into the time bank. I'd probably use my whole time bank and call. See the bad news. Bartek uses about half their time bank and finds the call and sees the bad news. No surprises there. King Jack for Bartek. Probus is right back in the game with 52 blinds after that big pot. A couple of 6s for Limitless in the big blind. They're going to jam it all in and Bartek is going to have to fold. It's been quite the final table for Bartek. They've been bullied by everybody. And I don't even know why. I think it's just the way the hands have kind of played out. So for example, Limitless with a small pocket pair there, playing 20 blinds deep, may as well rip out of position. Then there was an ace-king versus king-queen. Bartek had to call another 3-bet. Who was it against? Not Linus, but whoever was sitting next to David Peters. And Bartek, I think, got fed up with the king-queen suited, called the 3-bet, made 2 pairs, won a big pot. Doopity-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. Anyways, McChang is going to rip in the 10-9 and get it through pre-flop. 9-9 for David Peters. We'll raise it on up and get it through pre. Ace and a 9 for Limitless. They're going to raise it up. David Peters in the big blind with ace 2. Doesn't play well, but we've got plenty of chips. Let's go to the flop. Queen, jack, king. Doopity-doo. Goes check. Bet, fold, and we're moving along. Do. King 7 for David Peters is going to limp it on in. Flop a pair of 7s. Proberus with the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Sees another 7 on the turn. David Peters will lead out and take the pot down. King 7 for David Peters is going to raise it on up. Queen Jack for a Limitless. We'll call the big blind. 9-3-3. Flop goes check. And decision. What do we do with King 7? We go for a little c-bet. But Queen 9 in a weird spot. It is going to float with a couple of overcards and the backdoor straight draws. 9 on the turn. Goes check check. King on the river. Limitless playing the board. Always thinking about a bluff. It is not going to work out. David Peters with a quick call. And Limitless sees the bad news. Queen for Bartek. A couple of 6s for Proberus. You know what? Bartek deserves this one. He deserves a 3-bet from the 6s. Bartek will rip it all in. Proberus quickly calls. Nice. He makes a boat. Ace King versus a couple of jacks. Proberus will be right back in there with another 3-bet. Just like that, they had some 50 blinds. And they could be down to about 5 if they lose this one. It's going to be a huge flip. King on the flop. 10 dealer. Come on. Proberus is down to 5 blinds. Just like that. Proberus goes for a wide 3-bet with the 6s. Putting the pressure on Bartek, and the pressure backfires. Then he gets a couple of jacks. 3-bets bit too easy. They jam in the ace king, and the ace king flops top pair and holds on up. Proberus is down to 5 blinds and in rough shape now. David Peters with the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Gonna find the fold on the flop. Doopity-doo. King 6 versus a 10 and a 2. 10-2 is gonna have to hit the muck. Hopefully Proberus doesn't rip in the 6 and the 9 here. David Peters will raise up jack deuce offsuit. Limitless with ace 9 will defend the big blind. Queen 9-7 flop goes check. David Peters with the jack of clubs. Very strong card to have here. They're going to go for the big bet. Limitless will call. 7 of clubs on the turn. That jack of clubs, very strong card to have here. Blocking jack 10. Blocking club draws. Jack 8. These are just hands that would call you, right? So we can go for another big bet and buy this pot. Yes, we can. And Limitless is going to fold the ace 9. Nicely done by David Peters. What a beautiful play. Couple of 8s for a bit too easy. King Queen for Proberus is all in. He's going to need some help here. Isn't going to find it. And just like that, Proberus is gone. Very unfortunate happening. Oh, it was so fun to see. The Jack 5 suited 3-bet. Why couldn't he have just held with the jacks? I mean, bit too easy. He's going to play a strong game with the 60 blinds, sitting in second place. Both players flopping top pair here. I was truly rooting for Proberus, though. Just a damn shame to see him go. Queen on the turn. Doopity-doo. Got some chop out potentials. Jack on the river. Is this the chop? playing aces, that's 2 cards. The queen, jack, 10, that's 5 cards. We're gonna chop this bad boy up. Jack 8 first 2, 3. Doopity doo. 2, 3 with a straight draw to the 5. We'll check it on back. 6 on the turn. Turn goes check. Bet. Fold. And we're moving along. 9 and a 2 for David Peters. Looks like a raise. Looks like a raise if I've ever seen one. 520k to go. Limitless with Queen Jack. Put in a pickle here. We got a call. Ace 7 6 flop. That's a good board for David Peters to fire away and a good board for Limitless to fold on. Do we float with the backdoor straight draw? Couple overcards to the 7 and 6. We unblock diamonds. Interesting hand for Limitless. He goes for the check raise even. Sorry, this isn't a check raise. It's a bet raise. Fuck me. The raise will get through. Nice play by Limitless. David Peters with a 9 and a 6. Gonna raise it on up. 7-5-5 flop. You know, kind of what David Peters is doing is something I've been trying to do as well. I've been calling it like the disrespectful raise strategy. Once you got the big stack. And you know what? I like doing it around 30 blinds. I don't give a shit how many blinds my opponents have. As soon as we get to about 30 blinds, final 100 people in a deep tournament, we just start doing disrespectful raises. 6-7 offsuit, we'll go for the raise. Queen Jack will 3-bet all in and get it on through. Jack 3 suited, looks like a disrespectful raise to me. David Peters says I'm gonna find the fold. People are starting to play back. See, this is the thing, when you play micro stakes tournaments, people don't play back. On this final table, everybody's gonna play back, as Bartek is kind of witnessed. Do. Limitless with the queen 7, flopping the boat. Bit too easy with the pair of 7s. Checks back the flop. 8 on the turn, goes check. Wait, sorry, bit too easy is out of position. Fuck me, I'm lost in this hand. I was too busy thinking about the disrespectful raise strategy. So the play is something like 80% of hands from most positions. I think around the low jack, I start to cut it back down to about 40%. But nonetheless, it's disrespectful raises. It's saying you won't play back. It's just like your opponents won't play back against you, so you do everything. This jack 3 raise is disrespectful. We're gonna flop a freaking boat though, so it's not a problem. A bit too easy. He's just gonna play his 10-9 suited. 3 in a row with the backdoor flush draw. Just gonna fold. Jack 4. We'll raise it on up because we're playing disrespectfully. Beautiful. Queen 5 has to hit the muck. Queen 8 for David Peters. Ace King for McChang. So some more things about the disrespectful raise strategy. Soon as you face some aggression or playback, you fold. And maybe this is only effective in the micro stakes. But it's like the players just don't play back against you. 6s we see for McChang ripping it all in. Ace King for Bartek is all in. Limitless folds the 7s. The 6s hold. Bartek is running like shit. They're down to 5 blinds. Limitless would have won a huge one if he called with the 7s, but seeing a 3-bet all in and a call from the big blind. 7s hit the muck. Ace 10 versus Ace 10. Ace 10 flops a flush draw, but the flush draw misses. Bartek survives. Doopity-doo. Queen 3 for Bartek. We'll rip it all in. He's going to need a queen or 3 or a 9. Does not hit it. David Peters with a couple of ducks will hold on up. 5th place for Bartek. 9-8 suited for bit too easy. Queen for Limitless. 3-bet comes on in. 9-8 suited gonna call pre-flop. Bad timing. They're gonna flop top pair, backdoor straight draw. No backdoor flush draw. Limitless bets real small. King on the turn. Something interesting about the disrespectful raise strategy that David Peters is not doing is like it's a real it's like a small ball poker. You know, you bet small, you just let your opponents frickin' fold. David Peters has shown us the willingness to go big pre-flop, where like the disrespectful raise strategy includes a min raise from the small blind, which is just saying like, oh, you suck in the big blind. Limitless is all in with the queens. Bit too easy, thinking about a call down with the nines. Probably not gonna happen. Doobity doo, doobity doo doo. 9-8 hits the muck and we're moving along. Queen Jack for David Peters. See, he's using the big raise pre. He's putting a lot of pressure on Limitless and McChang, and I suppose that's how you implement it against stronger players. Use bigger bets so your opponents are more inclined to fold. Queen 10 2 flop goes check, bet, call, 2 on the turn. McChang could lead. He says no, I'm going to check Brendan. No need to lead the fives. Could still get bluffed by the king jack, the hearts, jack 9. David Peters says I've got top pair. I'm going for value. 3 pocket pairs here. McChang's all in with the 6s. He's going to need a lot of help. He does not find it. 10s hold for Limitless. We got a couple of 8s for David Peters, 3-handed. Strong hand. They go for a limp. King Jack for Limitless. We'll check it on back. 4-3, 3 flop goes check. Jack 9 on the turn. David Peters leads on out. This makes sense. You get called by the King Jack. Betting small. Queen on the river. Flush misses. Do we check and try to pick up a bluff? We bet small once again. Try to get called by the King High, Ace High, and Limitless is going to pay it off. Nice little bet there by David Peters. King Queen versus King Jack. 10-10 5 flop goes check. Check. Ace on the turn. We got some chop outs to the 5 or ace. A king also works. 5 will do. Both players playing the board. David Peters could put in a bluff ski here. Nope, he's going to just check it back. And we're going to chop it up. 6-7 for Limitless. We'll raise and take it down pre. 5-4 for a bit too easy. We'll raise. And Limitless will call the big blind with Queen Jack. Flop the open-ended straight draw to the 9 or ace. Pink. Good card for Limitless to check. Good card for a bit too easy to bet. He's going to go about half pot here with no outs. 1.5 in the middle. Bit too easy as 5 high. He's going to check it back in good timing. Deuces for David Peters. Queen 9 for a bit too easy. 10-9 4 flop goes check. Check. Jack on the turn. Goes check, check. 6 on the river. Bit too easy goes for some value. David Peters has shown the willingness to find the nice folds. Nicely done once again. 7-7 for Limitless. Raising it up. David Peters with 7-8 in the big blind. Will call ace king jack flop. Goes check, check. 3 on the turn. Goes check, check. 5 on the river. David Peters is going to show down the 8 high, and Limitless will show down the 7s and scoop a pot. 8-7 suited, thinking about a 3-bet or call. Plays call. Queen's waiting in the big blind. Jack 9 suited for a bit too easy. This is not going to be a 3-way pot. Limitless will put in the 3-bet. 2.24 million chips to go when the raise will get through. It's way too big of a bet, in my humble opinion. Ace 5 for David Peters. 7-8 for a bit too easy. 9-5 3 flop goes check, bet, call. 6 on the turn. Bit too easy, making the straight, picking up a straight flush draw. 9 on the river, so the board pairs. Interesting stuff with the ace-5. Bit too easy goes in the tank, bet the third pot. And David Peters finds the call with ace-5. Sees the bad news. 3-7 for limitless. We'll limp it on in. Queen 8 will check it on back. 9-7-2 flop goes bet. Call. King on the turn. Goes check. Bet. Bit too easy is trying to buy this pot here. Trying to push limitless around. Not gonna happen. This time, 2 pairs for limitless. River goes check check. And limitless scoops a nice pot there. 10-6 for David Peters. We'll limp it on in. 9-4 for limitless. Checks it on back. King 5-2 flop goes check. Check. 3 on the turn. Limitless makes a flush. Nothing doing for David Peters. King on the river. Pair in the board. Let's see a bet. 540k. Oh, no. 200k to go. Limitless will pay it off and see the good news. 4-9 for limitless. We'll find the fold. Bit too easy getting a walk. King 10 suited. We'll limp it on in. Bit too easy with a couple of 6s. Could rip it all in for 22 blinds. That they do. King 10 suited in a weird spot. Gonna find the fold. Couple of jacks for limitless this time. Bit too easy with ace-7 offsuit. Another 3-bet from limitless. No action for him once again. Ace-8 for David Peters. Jack-7 for bit too easy. Queen 4-3 flop goes check. Check. 6 on the turn. Bit too easy looking for a 5. Excuse me. Or the bet to get through. A jack or a 7 would also do. Another King 10 suited for limitless goes for another limp. 8-7 will call the small blind. Queen 7 checks it back for David Peters. 9-6-2 flop checks around. Ace on the turn. Interesting stuff. Bit too easy. Leads out for about half pot with the open-ended straight draw. Limitless calls with the King 10. 5 on the river. It's a bit too easy. Makes the straight. And limitless will fold the King high on the river. Ace-8 limps it in. 6-9 checks it back. King 3 flop goes check check. 2 on the turn. David Peters leads on out. And limitless will fold the 6-9. Ace-3 will raise. And the Jack-8 calls the big blind and flops a straight draw to the 9. Ace-3 will take a stab with the backdoor straight draw and pick up their straight draw on the turn, looking for a 4 now. A big bet would also get the job done. Ooh, 9 of hearts on the river. This pot will slide bit too easy's way. Gonna bet about 75% for value, and the bet will get through. Couple of jacks for limitless, gonna raise it on up and get it through pre-flop. 7-8 for David Peters. We'll limp it on in, and a queen and a 2 in the big blind. We'll raise it on up to 720k, and the raise will get through. 7-3 suited for limitless. Gonna limp it on in, and a king and a 2 checks it on back. Ace-5 flop goes bet, call, 9 on the turn. No help for limitless is 7-3, but another bet could get the job done. Turn goes check check. 9 on the river. This pot will go a bit too easy's way. He's even going to go for a little value here. Try to get called by a queen high. Not this time. No, that wasn't a chop pot, I don't think. Queen 8 for bit too easy, gonna raise it on up. 8-5 for limitless, will defend the big blind. King, king, queen flop. Goes check, bet, fold, and we're moving along. 6-5 for David Peters. Ace and a jack for limitless. Big raise pre. Limitless will call, flop top pair. Good board for David Peters to stab with the backdoor flush draw. Doopity doo, ace high board, doopity doo. Let's bet big. 765k into about 1 million chips. Limitless going nowhere, making 3 of a kind on the turn. Quickly checks it on over. 2.5 in the middle. David Peters checks it on back. 7 in the river. Half pot size bet by limitless. And David Peters will fold to 6 high. Excuse me. King 6 for limitless, we'll raise it on up. David Peters with 7-2 suited in the big blind, we'll just find the fold. 9-2 suited for bit too easy, thinks about it for a second, but they fold, giving David Peters a chance to limp in queen queen, trying to get that raise from limitless is 3-10. Not this time. Top set for David Peters, leads on out, and 10 high folds. Limitless limps in 9-6. 5-4 for a bit too easy. We'll raise it and take it down. Excuse me. Queen 8. We'll raise and take it down. Pre. Ace and a 9 versus a queen and a 10. Limp pot. Limitless says, okay, let's go to the flop. Jack 5-3. All diamonds. Nobody with a diamond. 5 on the turn. Doopity doo, doo 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 doo. Goes check, check, 9 on the river, giving David Peters a pair. Limitless sitting here with queen high. Sees a big bet, and he's gonna quickly fold. Deuces for David Peters, we'll raise it on up. Ace 9 for limitless in the small blind. We'll play call, flop top pair. Paired board is good news for the deuces, they go for a check back. 10 on the turn. Limitless leads out, and David Peters quickly folds the 2s. Ace and a king will limp it on in. 6 and a 3 for David Peters, will check it on back. King 9-8 flop. Goes bet fold, and we're moving along. Ace 4 for a bit too easy. A couple of 10s for limitless. They jam it all in for 30 blinds, and the jam gets through. 10-2 for limitless. Ooh, it's suited. They find the fold. Bit too easy. Will limp in queen 10. Do 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 do. Jack 9-6 flop, goes bet fold. Do 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 do. Ace 8 versus ace king, limp pot. Limitless says no, it's not. Raises it on up. David Peters is going nowhere. We could 3-bet pre-flop too. They do just call instead. 9-5-3 flop, 2 spades for limitless. They go for a small bet. David Peters calls, 10 of diamonds on the turn. Goes check, check, 2 on the river. David Peters is thinking about repping the ace 4. They're going to check it down. Just try to beat some king highs. Some of this will show him the goods though. Ace 8 will raise it on up and take it down pre-flop. A couple of kings for a bit too easy. David Peters with ace 5 in the big blind. Facing the limp, could go for a raise. They check it back instead. Jack 9-8 flop. Goes bet fold. Queen 8 versus king 10. 8-6-2 flop. Goes check, check. 7 on the turn. Bit too easy, looking for a king, a 10 or a 9. The big bet on the turn from limitless will get through instead. Ace 10 for David Peters. Gonna limp it in. 7-6 for limitless. And Jack 10 suited for bit too easy. The Jack 10 is gonna rip it on in for 30 blinds. This would be one hell of a call by David Peters. We're going to see a lot of pocket pairs, suited broadways. And then better ace X, so David Peter folds the ace 10. King 10 suited for a bit too easy. We'll put in a 3-bet here. 6-9 for limitless has plenty of chips to go to the flop with. They're going to say, no, I'm going to preserve them. Find a better spot. Queen 5 for limitless. Queen 8 for bit too easy. 10-4-2 flop. Limitless will check it on over with the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, 7 of diamonds on the turn. It's no help for the Queen 5 of hearts. Jack on the river. Providing bit too easy doesn't fold, they're going to scoop the 500k in the middle. Is this a bluffski with the Queen of diamonds? With the 8, blocking 8-9? Seems like it. 3-3 versus 7-8, 9-6-4 flop. Super interesting shit. Goes check, check. 4 of hearts on the turn. Gets even more interesting. David Peters looking for a 5, a 7, 8, or 10. A heart also works, and the big bet gets through. 1.3 million chips into 1 million. And limitless finds the fold. 10-3 versus 6-7, ace 6-5 flop goes check. Check. Jack on the turn. Goes check. Check. 8 on the river. Goes check. Check. And the pair of 6s is good for a small one. King 10 will limp it on in. David Peters with 3-6. We'll check it on back and flop a straight draw to the 5. Jack 4-2. David Peters says, yeah, this is good enough for a bet. Let me just go turn that straight. No problem. Bit too easy with King High. Won't put in another bet ski. Just going to find the fold on the turn. Pick up 9-8 suited. We'll raise and take it down pre-flop. Jack 7 suited for David Peters. We'll raise and flop a pair of 7s. Bit too easy with the straight draw to the 4. Gets a free turn. Queen of clubs. Bit too easy. Thought about leading out, but they're going to check it on over with their little straight draw. Face a bet. And fold. Ace 6 for limitless. We'll raise it on up. David Peters in the big blind with 8-6. Dee-ba-dee-doo-doo. Oh, they're just going to find the fold. Ace Queen for a bit too easy. Ducks for David Peters. Queen 10 in the big blind for limitless. I think we're going 3 ways to a flop here. Jack 8-7. Deuces are holding up for the time being, but they're probably going to find the fold at some point. Limitless will lead out with the straight draw and take the pot down. 2-4 for limitless. It was suited. They're just going to find the fold on the button. 7-10 suited. For a bit too easy, we'll limp it in and flop 2 pairs. David Peters with the backdoor straight draw. Backdoor 2-pair draw. Backdoor 3 of a kind draw. Letting it go on the flop. King 9 facing the raise from Queen 2. Limitless has been a bit of a bully so far. David Peters reads right into it, says I'm going to make it 2.2 million chips and you're just going to have to fold. Nicely done. Ace 6 suited goes for the limp, bit too easy with a couple of 9s in the big blind. We'll stick in the raise to 750k. David Peters is going nowhere. Queen 10-8 flop. 1.6 million chips in the middle. Bit too easy, checks it on over. David Peters checks it back and picks up a pair of 6s here. So he's beating Ace King, Ace Jack. Doopity-doo. Not no more. Losing to both of them on the river. Still losing to the 9s. Bit too easy. Bet super small here. Trying to get called by an 8 or a 6. And David Peters folds the 6. King 9 for Limitless. We'll raise it up. Ace 9 for David Peters in the big blind. We'll call. Queen 5-3 flop. Goes check. Check. 6 on the turn. Turn goes check, check. 4 on the river. Putting a one-liner to a 7 or 2 out there. Ace high still good. Looks like this pot will check down. But I've been wrong before. Limitless is putting the bluff ski. Trying to buy the pot. And he's going to go 2.6 million chips. And David Peters is going to have to fold there. Holy shit, what a bet on the river. King 10 suited for bit too easy. 9-9 for Limitless. Putting in the 3-bet. King 10 suited. Could 4-bet all in. Instead plays call. Ace Queen 5 flop. 3.5 million chips in the middle. Limitless bets real small. King 10 with a straight draw to the jack. Oh, bink. No problem, says PokerStars. Bit too easy. He's going to scoop a big pot here. 5 million chips going to be sliding their way. Could be all in on the turn. They say, hey, let's just give him a free turn, or free river, sorry. No 9 for Limitless, so we shouldn't put another chip in the middle here. Bit too easy with the stone cold nuts. We'll rip it all in and get it on through. Doobity-doo. Queen and a 5 for David Peters. We'll raise and take it down pre. King Queen for Limitless. We'll raise and take it down pre. Queen Queen waiting in the big blind. 6-9. Gonna go for the limp. Queen Queen. We'll raise it on up. And David Peters quickly folds. 7-9 for Limitless. Lamping it in. Jack 2, checking it back. King 10-9 flop. Bottom pair for Limitless is going to check it on over with the backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Bit too easy looking for a queen or the bet to get through. The bet will get through. We're moving along. Queen 2 flopping a flush. Bit too easy with the backdoor straight flush draw. An 8 or a 3 also gives him a straight. We see the deuce of spades on the turn. 800k, 750k in the middle. 600k is the bet, is what I was trying to say. Bit too easy, plays call. Ace of diamonds on the river. Bit too easy, leads out. 640k. Into the 2 million chips, and David Peters will go for a raise here with the third nuts. 2.8 million chips, and the raise will get through. Limp pot, 5-2-2 flop. Limitless with 3 and a 3 of a kind. Holy, words are getting difficult. We'll bet. Get a call from the king high. Queen of spades on the turn. David Peters will give up. And we're moving along. 6s versus ace 5. Limp raise jam. Limp raise jam and bit too easy folds the ace 5. 5-10 suited for Limitless. We'll raise it on up. Ace 4 for David Peters in the big blind. Plays call. Queen 9-4 flop. Goes check check ace on the turn. That's 2 pairs for David Peters, and he's going to check it on over. Limitless makes a pair of 10s on the river, so there's no need to bluff. I wonder if he pays off a bet here. Full pot, probably not. Quick fold, and we're moving along. King 5 suited, we'll limp it on in. 8-7. We'll raise it on up. We love to see this from Limitless. King 5 suited for David Peters is going nowhere. Plays call. 7-7-4 flop. Limitless bets real small, and David Peters quickly folds. Jack 8 for Limitless. We'll play big raise pre-flop. 3x. Bit too easy with the suited 9, has to fold. 3-2 suited Limitless lets it go. 10-8-6 flop. David Peters with middle pair, straight draw to the 7. We'll bet a big blind. We get a queen of spades on the turn. Top pair for a bit too easy. Jack on the river will give David Peters the straight though. 1 million chips will slide their way. I don't know if they're going to pay off a bet. The flush completes on the turn. Ace King makes it straight on the river. A bit too easy with top pair. Says, yeah, I'm going to pay it off. And see the bad news. Ace-7 for 6-5. 8-2-2 flop goes check, bet, fold. Doobity-doo. Couple of nines. Another pocket pair for limitless. We'll limp it on in. Bit too easy. We'll check back the ace high this time. Ace-3, 2. Nope. Ace-3, 4 flop. Goes check, bet, call, king on the turn. Goes check, check, 7 on the river. 1.2 million chips will slide, bit too easy's way. Limitless could go for a little block bet, and they do about 300k into about, what, 1.2? So about a quarter pot size bet. Do. King 3 for David Peters. We'll limp it on in. 6-4 for limitless. We'll check it on back. Queen 10-9 flop. Goes check, check. 8 of diamonds on the turn. That's an interesting card. David Peters blocking King Jack. Goes for a big bet. Limitless with the flush draw to the diamonds. We'll call 5 of spades on the river. That's no help for limitless. So one liner to a jack out there. David Peters says, I'm going to bet. Don't give you the chance to bluff. And another pocket pair for limitless. Goes for the big raise pre this time. Bit too easy with King 4 offsuit. Plays 3 bet. 2.4 million chips to go and limitless is going to jam. This is a damn shame for bit too easy. We love to see the play. We're going to jam, right? Oh, he plays call this time. Ace Jack 10 flop. Bit too easy. Sees a great board to bet. He's going to bet real small and the bet's going to get through. Or does Limitless just trap him here with the 8s? Oh, he's just trapped him with the 8s. What the fuck is going on? Ace on the turn. Goes check, check, ace on the river. What a play by Limitless. Jam it in. King 4. I just want to see it. I just want to see it. Come on. Stick it in bit too easy. He's got no time bank. And he's got to just quickly fold. 8s hit the muck. Lovely play by bit too easy. He's got 50 blinds now. That's why I thought the 8s were going to jam pre-flop. So they don't have to go play post-flop and get fucked. Oh, but they did. 3-2 suited. Limitless is going to put in the 3-bet, and the 3-bet will get Queen Jack to fold. So Limitless is back to being a bully. Had he jammed pre-flop, he's going to buy the pot. Wow, and he would have just had like fucking like 80 some blinds. Instead we got like this 3-way tight battle. Ace 6 gonna limp it on in. 8-9 for David Peters. 6-5 2 flop. Do. 8-9 with the straight draw to the 7. We'll bet. Couple overcards, the backdoor flush draw. We get the 4 of diamonds on the turn. Just a good card for a bit too easy. Picking up the nut flush draw. Undercard to your 6. 7 of diamonds on the river. Doobity-doo, bit too easy with one of the best flushes. There was a straight flush or 2 out there. Doobity-doo is gonna go for the check call, but there's no bluff this time. All in from the ace 10 suited from David Peters, and the jam will get through. 8-7 for Limitless. We'll go for the big raise pre, and the big raise pre will get through. Jack 10 for a bit too easy, limping it in. David Peters with Jack 6. Raise it up. We just want to see it. 1 million chips to go. Come on, bit too easy. Let's go to the flop. Ace 7 6. That's kind of funny. Flop goes check, check, 8 on the turn, so a bit too easy picks up some outs to the 9. A 10 works. Or the big bet. The big bet on the turn will get through. David Peters folds the best hand with the pair of sixes. King 8 versus ace deuce. Ace 10 3 flop. Goes check. Check. 7 on the turn. Goes check big bet. And David Peters folds the king high. 7-4. Gonna find the fold on the button. 5-6 suited for limitless. We'll get the chance to raise big. Bit too easy. Gonna call the queen 5. King 9 2 flop. 4 on the turn. Just what limitless is looking for. Now he has some equity. Looking for a 6 or a 3. He's gonna bet large, and the bet will get through. Queen 7 for a bit too easy, limping it in. Jack 8 for David Peters. King 7 flop. Doobity doo. Goes check check 6 on the turn. Bit too easy, bets 400k into about 600. And the bet will get through. 10-9 for David Peters. Gonna limp it on in. King 2 will check it on back. 10-8 5 flop goes bet. Fold. 7-6 for David Peters. We'll raise it on up. Deuces for limitless. We could see a 3 bet. Could see a call. Could see a fold. And we see the fold. Ace 8 for a bit too easy. And to be fair, I don't think limitless is the type to 3 bet deuces there. 3-handed. Pocket pairs become much stronger. But limitless says, no, I'm going to find a better spot than deuces. 5-5 for David Peters. 10-9 2 flop. That's top pair for a bit too easy. They're gonna bet 300k into 600. David Peters calls with the backdoor flush draw. 3 of a kind draw. 4 clubs on the turn. Get a large bet from bit too easy. Queen Jack is still bluffing. Oh, Queen Jack makes it straight on the river. Do. River goes check check in bit too easy, slides, or has about 3 million chips slide their way. Ace 3 versus King 3. Queen 10-7 flop goes check bet fold, and we're moving along. 4-7 for limitless. Gonna limp it in. 5-4 for a bit too easy. We'll check it on back and flop a pair of 5s with the backdoor flush draw. Both players with the straight draw to the 6. Limitless's 7s are holding on up for the time being. And even gets another 7 on the river. Bit too easy. Could put in a small bet. Try to get called by a 3 or ace high, king high. Limitless trapped him. Goes for the check raise. 4-5 is an interesting call down hand. You'd prefer to have an 8 or a 7, of course. But the 4 is a pretty damn good card to have here. We'll see what Bit Too Easy thinks about the play. Bit Too Easy says, no, you just trapped me. You got me, bucko. We're moving along. 4-7 versus Ace King. Ace King will raise it on up. 875k to go, and the raise will get through. Ace 10 for Bit Too Easy, raising it up. King 8 for limitless. 5-3 2 flop goes check check jack on the turn. Doopity doo 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 boo. Goes check check 2 on the river goes check check, and the pot slides Bit Too Easy's way. King 8 will raise it on up. Ace 2 will defend somehow. Plays called jack jack 8 flop. Good news for limitless. They bet about a quarter, and the quarter pot size bet gets through. Ace 4 will raise and take it down pre. Ace 9 will raise and get a call from the 7-6 in the big blind. Uh-oh. Limitless 3 bets. What the fuck? And Ace 9 hits the muck. Whoa-wee wee-wah. What a play by Limitless. I was saying McChang earlier deserved this final table. David Peters did a great job of running the show for a long time. Fortunately, he's down to 23 blinds now. Bit Too Easy's done a great job 3-handed of surviving and then picking up big pots. Got a big bluff through with the king high when Limitless had the 8s. That was a huge pot. But other than that, Limitless has just been bullying bit too easy. Bullying David Peters. And before that, he is playing rather patiently. Just waiting, picking his spots. Gonna stab with the ace high, and the stab will get through. 61 blinds for Limitless. Feels like this is their tournament to lose. It's just a matter of time. Or I suppose if they run bad. Bit too easy. Gonna limp in the jack 8. 4-7 for David Peters. Gonna raise it on up and take it down pre-flop. Ace king for bit too easy. 9-6 for Limitless will call. King 5-4 flop. Goes check, bet, fold in. We're moving along. Blinds go up. Aces for David Peters. They're gonna limp it on in. King 6 will check it on back. Queen 10-5 flop. Aces bet small and the bet will get through. King queen for Limitless. We'll raise it on up. David Peters with an ace and a 4. Thinking about a 3-bet here. I don't know what's going to happen. Ace 4 rips it on in. King queen quickly calls. No king or queen. And just like that, David Peters wins a huge ass pot. 54 blinds and Limitless is down to 20. So that's all it took, eh? Just an ace 4 rip. King queen calls it off. 7-5's all in and David Peters has the lead again. So what looked to be Limitless's tournament to lose is actually David Peters' tournament to win. 60 blinds. They have the big chip stack, bit too easy. With 40 blinds is not far behind, and Limitless is not out of this game with 20 bigs. Top pair for David Peters, facing the check raise on the flop. This is all good news for David Peters. Things are going in his favor. 3 on the turn is no equity for bit too easy. So he's just going to slow right down. Turn goes check, check, 3 on the river. Bit too easy, we'll check. $2.4 in the middle, and about 700k is the bet. And the bet will get through. Ducks for bit too easy. Ace queen. Oh, ducks hit the muck. 9-4 suited. Are we going to rip it all in? Goes for the limp. Ace queen will raise it on up. Limp jam? Limp raise jam. Do it. Do something funny. David Peters does call, which is kind of funny. Queen 8-4 flop. Limitless bets a quarter pot. Hard to fold a pair on the flop. Ace on the turn. That's a bad card for David Peters, and a bad card for Limitless is I don't think the pair of 4s puts in another chip now. There's still the spade draw, the straight draw jack 10. Those sort of holdings. King jack. But David Peters will fold the 4s. Uh-oh. Ace 6, ace 8, ace 10. Ace 8 hits a muck. Ace 10 could rip it all in. That they do. Ace 6 will hit the muck. Ace 9 versus ace 8 and a 5-4 suited in there. We'll play call. Did we just jam ace 8 for 20 bigs? What a weird pot. We play call. 10-8-2 flop. Bit too easy with 3 in a row, all of the same suit. Limitless with that middle pair of 8s will lead on, or sorry, not lead. Take a stab on the flop and the raise will get on through. 8-7 will face a jam from the 9s and Limitless is back up to 30 bigs. Has an ace and a 9. 10-6 in the big for David Peters. We'll play call. King, queen, 8 flop. Goes check, check, 3 on the turn. Goes check, check, 9 on the river. 10 of clubs is an interesting card to have. Blocking the jack 10, we're going to go for the straight, or we're going to go for the bluff, sorry. Blocking the straight. Ace 9 for Limitless, just going to fold, and David Peters is going to steal away a pot. Jack 6 for a bit too easy. David Peters with King 9. Plays 3-bet. I wonder why Limitless's time bank is all gone. They could surely use it. They're going to rip in the Ace 8 flop top pair. No 7 for bit too easy. And bit too easy throws in the GG. Yeah, that's pretty much it for him. Looks like we got a huge heads-up battle between David Peters and Limitless. The 6-9 will rip it all in. Ace 8 will call. 9 on the flop. Ace on the turn, though. Just like that. We are going to lose bit too easy. In third place, Limitless throws out the GG. GG from David Peters. And you know what? This is what we deserve to see. 7-7 versus 10-6. David Peters versus Limitless. We're playing about 50 blinds deep. Heads up. Doopity-doo. Flop goes bet, call. Queen on the turn. 6 of diamonds is an interesting card to have. David Peters says maybe on the flop, on the turn, not so much. 10 of hearts is the interesting card to have on the 9 river. David Peters blocking Jack 10. We'll go for a little bluffski here, and the 7s fold. Uh-oh, David Peters off to a good start. 3-6 versus Ace 9. Ace 9 will raise it on up and take it down pre-flop. King 4 versus Jacks. King 4 raising it up. Jack will go for a 3-bet here. What size do we go? 2.625. And the raise will get through. Ace 2 versus a king and an 8. Raise, call. 10-8-5 flop goes check 4 on the turn. So Limitless looking for an ace or a 3. David Peters goes for a big bet, and that will buy it on the turn. 4-6 raising it up. Queen Jack for Limitless. King 9 for flop goes check. Queen on the turn. Limitless bets real small, about a third pot. And the pair of 4s hit the muck. 4-10 limps it on in. David Peters checks back the 8-3. Queen Jack 3 flop goes check king on the turn. David Peters picking up a flush draw. Limitless picking up a straight draw. We get an 8 of hearts on the river. 2 pairs for David Peters. Checks it on over, and Limitless has 10 high. Blocking the straight, goes for a bluffski. Doopity-doo. David Peters thinking about a raise or a call. Sticks in the raise, and the raise will get through. 3-10 versus 10 queen. Nope. Versus 9 queen. Limp pot. King 5-3 flop. Bottom pair for David Peters. Checks it back. 9 on the turn. Limitless with second pair will lead out 500k into about 700. And the pair of 3s hit the muck. Jack 10 raising it up. King 3 going nowhere. We're suited and booted. Ace Queen 2 flop. Goes check 9 on the turn. Limitless looking for a king, a jack, a 10, or an 8. Instead, we see a 3 on the river. 1.3 million chips in the middle will slide David Peters' way. 10-3 for David Peters, gonna limp it on in. Jack 2 checking it back. Queen 10-6 flop goes check 4 on the turn. Goes check 6 on the river. David Peters betting real small, no action this time. King 10 versus 6-5. 6-5 will play call. Ace Queen flop. Limitless bets real small, and the 6 high hits the muck. 3-9. Gonna go for the raise. David Peters switching things up, was limping it on in, raising it on up this time. Ace 5 will call. Queen 7-2 flop goes check 10 on the turn. Goes check, check, queen on the river. Want to see a bluff from David Peters, and I want to see a call from Limitless. 750k to go, and the bluff will get through. So what I wanted to see kind of came into fruition, except for Limitless's call. Would have been beautiful to see the ace high call. Not this time though. Pair of jacks for David Peters. We got 8 high for Limitless. He's got no outs on the turn here. He's going to check it on back. 3 on the river. River goes check, check, and David Peters scoops a small one. Ace deuce versus 9-4. Limp pot. Queen 3-2 flop. Goes check, bet. What do we do with the 9-4? Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Can't fold. Could go for the check raise. We see the 7 of spades on the turn. Doopity doo. Goes check, check, 7 of hearts on the river. Limitless puts in a big bluff ski, and David Peters with an interesting call down hand. That ace of spades is super important. With a pair of 2s, they're going to find it and see the great news. So things are not working out for Limitless. I don't know if he's won too many pots here, heads up. Down to 30 blinds. The 6-3 raise will get through for him. King 5 for David Peters. Raising it up. Queen 9 for Limitless. 8-7-4 flop. Goes check. Check 2 on the turn. Turn goes check, check. Very fair queen on the river. 1.5 in the middle. 1.2 is the bet, and David Peters will fold with the straight draw block, or with the straight blocker, and king high. Jack 9 limps it on in. King 10 for David Peters. We'll raise it on up. 4x and Limitless flops 3 of a kind. That's good news for him. David Peters with the backdoor straight draw. Backdoor boat draw. He's going to bet. Pick up the straight draw on the turn here. Looking for a 9 or an ace. The 9 is a dirty out. Check it back, Limitless. Give him a free card. He says no, not today. 2 million chips into 4. David Peters will call Jack on the river. 4 of a kind for Limitless. We'll go all in. And the king high will probably reluctantly fold. What do we beat? 10-9 diamonds. Losing to a lot of queen X, jack X. Some other pocket pairs. I wonder if another pocket pair, like, would 8s jam on the river? I don't think so. I could be wrong though. 4-7, we'll raise it on up. On the queen, jack 3 flop and face a check raise from the straight draw. Nice play by Limitless. Looked like a pot. David Peters could steal away. Ace 3, flop and top pair. Bottom pair for David Peters with the backdoor straight draw and the backdoor flush draw. He's gonna have to call on the flop. We get a 7 of hearts on the turn. Do 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 do. Top pair goes for another value bet. Oh, bink. 5 on the river. No problem for David Peters. Looks like 3 million chips will be sliding his way. Limitless might even go for another value bet here. Try to get called by a 9 or a 7. 2.5 million chips. He's never going to get back. David Peters thinking about a raise here with the straight blocker, with the boat blocker, 3 of a kind. Let's raise for some value. None to be had this time. Blinds go up. That's a pretty damn big pot going David Peters' way with a pair of 5s, making 3 of a kind on the river. Getting pretty lucky, and things continue to go against Limitless. 8-4 and 2-5. Queen jack jack flop goes check bet fold, and we're moving along. 2-10. Excuse me. 2-10. Looked like he limped in. 7-3, making a pair of 3s. will lead out on the 5 turn. David Peters has a straight draw to the ace or 6, will call and make a pair of 10s. That's good enough for the pot, and things continue to go against Limitless. 1.5 million chips and maybe a little bit more will be sliding David Peters' way. 7-3 won't make the call. Doopity doo. Ace and a king will raise it on up. 7-10 can call. Uh-oh. 3-bet coming in. Uh-oh. There it is. 2.5 million chips. Limitless will happily jam it on in and take it down pre. 9-5 will raise it on up. 6-8 for Limitless. We'll play call. Queen 6-3 flop. Goes check. Deep tank, half pot size bet on the flop. King on the turn, completing the flush. 3.3 million chips in the middle, goes check check. 4 on the river. 6s hold up. David Peters blocks 5-2 and 5-7. He's gonna put in a bluff ski, and another pot's gonna slide his way as the 6s hit the muck. David Peters has done a great job this heads-up battle. He's also ran pretty good. Things are working out for him. King 8 suited, gonna go for the raise facing the limp. Queen 3 will call. Jack 8 2 flop. Limitless with middle pair will bet about 40%. David Peters with a backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw gonna come along. Jack of clubs on the turn. 4.6 million chips in the middle. Both players with a flush draw. King 8 checks it on over. Queen 3 will check it back, picking up some equity. 5 on the river. David Peters does beat some like 10-9. Loses to some like Queen 10. Losing to some spades. Does put in the bluff here. And I think Limitless was setting the trap. Quickly calls and sees the great news. Finally something goes his way. Jack 3 versus Jack 7. 10-8-7 flop. Bottom pair for David Peters. Both player with a straight draw to the 9. Limitless will check it on back. Ace on the turn. Goes check. Bet. Don't know if David Peters is going to fold here just quite yet. King of spades on the river. Queen Jack makes a straight, and Limitless says I've got a bluff here with Jack 3. Betting about half pot. David Peters with the same straight blocker and the pair of 7s. The bottom pair finds the fold. Things going Limitless's way now. 8-9 versus King 8. The 8-9 will raise it on up. Uh-oh. Things were going his way. Queen 5-5 flop. 2.5 million chips in the middle, and Limitless will slow right down. 8 on the turn. That's bad news for Limitless. Bad news. Both players make a pair of 8s. Limitless bets. David Peters is going nowhere. Has the better kicker. 6 on the river. There was some chop outs to a 5, an ace, or an 8. Limitless puts in a small bet, and David Peters will quickly call. 8-7 versus 9-7. This is what we came to see. Ace 4-4 flop goes check check. 6 on the turn. Limitless picks up a straight draw to the 5. He's gonna bet about half pot, and the bet will get through. Ace 4 versus 6-9. Nice. 6-9 goes for the 3 bet. Ace 4 gonna call, I think. King Jack 5 flop. Whoa, wee, there's nothing like a 69 3 bet. No, that wasn't a 3 bet. Wasn't a limp pot. Sorry, I'm not too sure if it was a limp or raise from David Peters' Ace 4. Nonetheless, Limitless raising it on up with 6-9. Nothing makes you want to play poker more than seeing that. 8 on the river goes runner for a straight. Are you serious? I mean, a 6 or a 9 would have also worked, but Limitless will take it down with the straight. Ace high is not putting in a bluff. Ace 6 for David Peters. Jack 2 for Limitless. Queen 10-8 flop goes check, bet, fold, and we're moving along. 4-6, raising it up. 3-3, making the call. 10-5, 4 flop. Goes check, bet, fold, and we're moving along. No, it goes check, check. Queen on the turn. Don't know why I thought the bottom pair was going to bet. For protection. That's what I thought. But no, David Peters will just check it down. And show it down and win. Ace 7 versus Ace 10. Limp, raise, call. Ace high board. Bad news for Limitless. He's in trouble here. 1 million chips into about 3. We got a 3 of spades on the turn, so we got some chop outs. What are we looking for? A king, a queen, a jack, an ace, or a 3. A 7 would also give Limitless the best of it. King of clubs. Well, that doesn't work. David Peters makes a flush. He's going to rip it all in. And Limitless with the flush blocker with the top pair sees the bad news. Or knows the bad news and just finds the fold. 7-8. We'll take a stab on the queen 10-5 flop. Bottom 2 for Limitless. Puts in the check raise and 7-8 quickly folds. Uh-oh. Ace 5 suited versus Ace Queen suited. This could be the end of the show. David Peters will raise it on up. Limitless. A computer player. Plays call. I thought we were going to jam it all in. King Jack 4 King Jack 4 flop. Goes check. Putting a bluff. Do it, Limitless. Just bluff away. I mean, David Peters isn't going to fold on the flop here. Has the straight draw to the 10, the backdoor nut flush draw. Doopity-doo. 2 of diamonds on the turn. Limitless picks up a straight draw to the 3. He's a 5 or a 3 that's a non-diamond. Or this bet to get through. 5 million chips into 9.5. I think we still call with the ace-queen. Ace-queen actually just sticks it all in and Limitless finds a fold. That was a huge pot going David Peters' way. Yeah, you can't fold on the turn. Uh-oh, ace-deuce versus king-8. King-8 flops well. Straight draw for David Peters does not come in. So we're still battling it out. 8-10 versus queen-jack. Limp pot. Limitless says so. No, it's not. The 8-10 will call. Ace queen 8 flop. Goes check. Check 2 on the turn. 800k is the bet. And David Peters finds a call. 7 on the river. Limitless puts in another value bet here. And David Peters thinking about the call down with the pair of 8s. It's about a half pot size bet, and he's going to pay it off and see the bad news. Limitless back up to 40 blinds. Just like that, we had a flip pretty much for the game. David Peters loses it. Limitless wins a big pot right there with the pair of queens. 40 blinds to 60 blinds. Ace 6 limping it in. Ace 5 checking it back. King 5 4 flop. Goes check. Check 9 on the turn. Limitless will lead on out and take it on down. Queen 6 versus 3-8. Limp pot. King 7 2 flop. Queen 6 takes a stab and the 3-8 with the backdoor flush draw hits the muck. Jack 5 limps it on in. Ace 7 flops quite well here. Queen 6 2 all diamonds. We see a free 5 of hearts on the turn. Limitless bets large. David Peters is going nowhere, picking up some equity with the pair of 5s. 3 on the river. It's a diamond, by the way. 1 liner to a 4. 4 diamonds out there. Very small bet. 530k into just under 2 million chips. And David Peters is going to find the fold. Ace Queen will raise it on up, and the 5 and the 3. thinking about it, but we'll hit the muck. King 9 for David Peters. Jack 4 for Limitless. Limp pot. 8-7-4 flop goes check. Check. 6 on the turn. David Peters looking for a 5, a 10, a king or a 9. 10 will do. Doopity doo. Limitless blocks Jack 9. Very interesting holding with the Jack 4. Easy check fold for him, so it was not that interesting at all. King 2 for Limitless. We'll raise it on up. David Peters with the queen and the 4. 6-5-2 flop. Bottom pair for Limitless takes a little stab. David Peters looking for a queen, a 4, or a 3. 3 of clubs on the turn, no problem. David Peters will lead out with the straight. Doopity doo. And Limitless folds the bottom pair. 60 blinds to 40 blinds once again. Ace Jack versus King 3 suited. Limp pot. David Peters says no it's not. Doopity doo. Raising it up. 1.4 mil to go. Ace King Queen flop. Super interesting shit. If a club was out there it would be a bit more interesting. David Peters with top pair. Straight draw. Middle pair of kings will find the call. 5 on the turn. 6.5 million chips in the middle. David Peters bets 2.75 and the bet will get through. Blinds go up. Jack Jack versus King 3 suited. Uh-oh. Ace 8-4 flop. 2 spades for Limitless. David Peters bets a third pot. Limitless is thinking about a raise. He is going to find it. 2.5 million chips to go. About 1.9 million on the call. David Peters does find it. 5 on the turn. Good card for Limitless. He picks up a straight draw to the 2. He jams it all in. Are we going to fold the jacks here? Do we call and win the game? Oh, he folds and Limitless steals it away. Jacks hit the muck. Limitless surviving 34 blinds to 50. King deuce versus ace 6. Queen 10-9. Nope. Queen 10-5 flop goes check check 9 on the turn. Goes check check 9 on the river. Ace high is good. Five 6 versus 7-4. Limp pot. Ace jack 10 flop. 5-6. We'll check it on back. Queen on the turn. Surely David Peters fires away at some point. 7 on the river. That's kind of funny. And we lead out for 1.2 million chips, blocking the 2 pairs, trying to get 1 pair to fold. David Peters with 6 high has an easy fold. King Queen versus 4-2. 10-9 4-2. No. 10-9 4 flop goes check check 3 on the turn. Goes check check 8 on the river. David Peters will scoop the 2 million chips in the middle. 9-9 versus 5-8. Raise from the 9s. Call from the 5-8. Ace 8-4 flop goes check bet call. Uh-oh. Limitless thinking about a raise. They're going to stick in the raise here. Put a lot of pressure on the pair of 9s. But that's not going to generate a fold. Ace on the turn. 6 million chips in the middle. Is the tournament over? Limitless is going to check it on over. Uh-oh. 9-9 is probably not going to give Limitless a free card. 2 million chips to go. Limitless finds the call, solely looking for an 8. We see the 10 of hearts on the river. This might go check check, but it's still going to be a huge ass pot going David Peters this way. About 10 million chips. Queen Jack versus 10-2. 8-6-4 flop goes check check 10 on the turn. Doopity doo 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 doo. Limitless looking for a queen, a jack, or a 9. David Peters will bet quite large with the top pair. We see the 7 of hearts on the river. 2.2 million chips in the middle. David Peters checks it on over. 1-liner to a 5. Jack 9 makes a straight. Hearts get there. Limitless bets 3.2 million chips. I think this is going to work out. David Peters has time bank though. He's going to not use it. And he's going to find the fold. Think long, think wrong. Doopity doo. Pretty bad river for him. So he's just going to find the fold. Queen 7. We'll raise it on up. King 6 for David Peters will call. 9-8-4 flop goes check. Check. 8 on the turn. Doopity doo 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 doo. Goes check. Bet fold, and we're moving along. 2-7 for David Peters. Jack 3 for Limitless. Limp pot. Jack 9-2 flop. Do 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 do. Goes check check 9 on the turn. There's a lot of draws out there. 10-8, Queen 10, hearts, diamonds. Doopity doo. There's even a few more out there. We see the hearts complete. 3 of a kind for David Peters. Limitless with top pair will lead out large. 750k into 900. And David Peters is sizing up a raise, 2.6 mil. And Limitless will find the fold. 9-8 versus 9-7. Limp pot. Ace 6-4 flop goes check. Bet. Fold. And we're moving along. King 5 versus King 7. Limp pot. Jack 10-8 flop. David Peters with 4 hearts. Backdoor straight draw will bet in position and take it on down. Excuse me. Jack 9-5 flop. Goes check, bet, call. Jack on the turn. Pair of 5 still good for Limitless. David Peters with plenty of outs. Does not hit any of them. Does block Queen 10. Could go for a big bluffski here. Blocking hearts. Goes for the check. And Limitless checks it back and wins a small one. Ace King suited. We'll raise it on up. 6-7 suited. We'll jam it all in. Heart draw. 6 on the turn. That will do. What the hell is going on here? You get it in with like 40% equity against Ace King. It's a hilarious play. Kind of funny that's how things had to go down here. Hard to move on from that one. Limitless is a little shy after that. A pair of 5s for Limitless, a straight draw for David Peters to the 4. They're going to call, make a pair of queens. That's good news for David Peters. About 2 million chips will slide his way, and he might get a little bit more on top of that. 440k is what he'll get. He's thinking about a raise here. He says, you know what, Limitless? I've had just about enough of you. After that 6-7 suited to rip it all in. Doopity doo 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 doo. Queen 8-7 flop goes check check 4 on the turn. Both players with a pair of 8s. Limitless betting about half pot. David Peters going nowhere. Looking for a 2. We see the 3 of diamonds on the river. 3.4 million chips in the middle. Limitless bets about 2.4, and a quick call from David Peters, and he sees the bad news. Jack 5 gonna limp it on in. 6-7 will raise it on up. This is Limitless's favorite hand. He flops real well. Top pair. Straight draw to the 5. David Peters with a straight draw to the 6. Doopity doo. We see a 4 hearts on the turn. Limitless will bet about half pot. A little bit less, maybe closer to 40%. And David Peters will fold the straight draw. Ace 9 versus 3-10. Limitless raising it on up. 3-10 was thinking about doing something silly, but it does find the fold. 3-5. David Peters does not fold their button. They're going to go for the limp. Queen 2-2 flop goes check check 6 on the turn. Both players with a straight draw now. Limitless will lead on out. 6 on the river. Both players playing the board. Limitless checks it on over. David Peters going to steal this pot with a bluffski. Do it. What I want to see is a bet and then Limitless somehow jam over the top. That would have been crazy. In the end, we see go check, check, chop it up. 8s for Limitless. 6-4 for David Peters. 10-4, 2 flop goes check, check. King on the turn goes check, check. 9 on the river goes check. Do we go for some value here with the pair of 8s? Very thin value bet. Trying to get called by a 4 or a 2. David Peters goes in the tank here. He is going to pay it off and see the bad news. Nice play by Limitless to check down the 8s and bet on the river. King 2 versus Ace 2. Jack 7-7 flop goes check, check, 7 on the turn. 900k in the middle. 400k is the bet. 8 on the river. Ace high still good. And Limitless bets real small for value. And David Peters folds the king high. Queen 2 versus King 6. Limp pot. 9-5, 4 flop goes check. Check, 6 on the turn. Pair of 6s for David Peters. Thinking about a lead. They are going to lead out quite large. 650k into 900k. And the bet will get through. Jack 9 for David Peters. Ace Queen for Limitless. Going to raise it on up. Jack 9 plays call, flops top pair. That's good news for David Peters. Getting a little bit of run good back. Ace Queen will go for a stab. David Peters calls, 7 on the turn. Limitless will slow right down with the Ace Queen. 1.3 million chips into 4.2 and the bet will get through. 23 blinds for David Peters and a king and 10 of the same suit. Facing the limp, we could raise it on up. We could call and go, or just check and go post flop. David Peters raises and takes it down. Queen 9 suited will limp it on in. 4-7 will check it on back. King 6-4 flop goes check, check, check on the turn. David Peters looking for a queen, a 10 or a 9. 6 of clubs on the river. 600k is the bet from bottom pair, trying to get called by queen high, ace high. Interesting stuff from Limitless. Very thin value bet. 5-9 will raise it on up. Ace jack will rip it on in and get it on through. Doopity doo, doo doo doo. Queen 3 versus Queen 3. This is what we came to see. Raise from the Queen 3, call from the Queen 3. 8-8-6 flop goes check. Check, 9 on the turn. Goes check, check, 4 on the river. Limitless thinking about a bluff here. Oh, he bets 5.2 million chips, and there's no way you can call with queen high. Doopity doo. Ace king versus king 8. David Peters will raise it on up. 1 million chips to go, and Limitless calls. Both players with top pair of kings. That's bad news for Limitless. Might even go for a raise on the flop here. No, just plays call. 6 of hearts on the turn. Does that save him some money? I doubt it. 2.2 million chips is the bet on the turn. I think we still call with king 8. 8 on the river. No problem for Limitless. David Peters will check as there's 4 hearts out there and see the horrific news. Limitless was 72 blinds, and at the beginning of this heads-up battle, he was running like shit. David Peters had him on the ropes. 8-7 suited will rip it all in for David Peters and get it on through. Ace-6 versus Ace-6. But like I was saying, David Peters was bullying Limitless. In the end, looks like Limitless is going to get the job done here. Heart! Nope, we're going to chop it on up. Blinds go up. 12 blinds for David Peters. Queen 10 goes for the limp. Queen 10-7 flop. Goes check, check, jack on the turn. David Peters with outs. A 7 or an 8. A king also works. Large bet on the turn here. 800k into 1.1. David Peters has to call. 5 on the turn. Or sorry, 5 on the river. 2.8 million chips in the middle. Doopity-doo. Limitless bets 2 million chips, and David Peters says, "What the hell is this all about, bucko? Are you being a bully? Are you going to call down here with the pair of 7s? Hopefully not." Nice fold. King Queen will rip it all in versus Jacks. Big flip. Could be the end of the show here. Oh, King Queen limps. Jack will do the ripping. King Queen will still call. Gonna need a king, a queen, some hearts, some spades. Oh, the frickin' thing slowed down, so we just know it's over. Jack, hold on up. Woo! Limitless gets the W on the stacked final table and the 25k from WCOOP 2018. What a frickin' final table. Holy shit. If you made it all the way through, thanks for checking this out. Hopefully we'll see you in another one. I'm exhausted. I'm just dead. Adios, amigos.